And I've been doing some research on the JROB intensive camps for the past couple of years, really just looking at the effect that it has on the campers involved and kind of the effect on the development of psychological skills, the mental skills, and then looking at the effect that it has on your lives. So the guys at the camp asked me to have a chat with you, and I'm really excited to meet you guys and hear a little bit about your stories. So what we might do for a start is just we'll get each of you to introduce yourself. We'll start with Nathan, and then we'll go to Connor. And the best thing to do just with this chat is just have one person talking at a time. So we'll just give you the floor, and you can kind of tell us your story a little bit. So for a start, Nathan, we'll get you to just give us your name, where you're from, your year in school, and how you placed at your state tournament this year.
Well, I'm Nathan, and I'm a junior. I'm from Antioch, Illinois, and I placed 6th state.
Very cool. And Connor?
My name's Connor Hughes. I'm from First Flight High School in North Carolina, and I placed 3rd in the state this year, and I'm a junior.
Okay, great. So what I want to do is just hear a little bit about, I guess, your season, your wrestling season, and then leading into the state tournament. So first up, we'll go in the same order. Nathan, I'll get you to just describe a little bit, maybe in a couple of minutes, just your wrestling season and how you then progressed through to your state tournament. So take us through your wrestling season. Hit us with some of the highlights, maybe the best moments and the most challenging moments through the season.
All right. Well, I have overall season was a pretty good year. I was 42 and 10 and I started off really well. I beat a kid my very first match. I beat a kid that qualified and almost placed last year. I've wrestled him for a couple of years, and I never beat him ever, and I finally beat him this year. So it's pretty exciting. And then just basically going through.
I'm already connecting right here.
Oh, he's on the computer. Oh, now he's connected on the computer. Make sure you can talk to him.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Nancy.
Where's the noise at, Grandpa?
You need to pause there for a second, Nathan.
So I was just having an overall really good season, not losing too much. That's kind of wrestling my way. And then one thing that definitely I did not like was I beat a kid 16-4 in the senior night, and then at conference he beat me 11-0. So it was a little bit of a letdown for myself. I didn't wrestle very well in that.
Yeah, you want to test your sound out. I know.
And then going into
I
took him first at regional, second sectional, and I lost my first match 12-6 at state, and I won my next two matches.
I know. Well, the internet was down before. No wonder we couldn't connect.
Then I lost my semifinal match. I got pinned, and then
oh, that could be.
I lost my first match.
I reset it yesterday.
11-6. So, field goal, not bad. I'm happy with points, but
well, so far so good. Do you want to hang on?
Well, hey Matthew, can you get sort of some of the background noise? I think your grandpa's in the background. We can.
Yeah, Grandpa.
Yeah.
Hold on, Mom. I'm on the call right now. I can't talk to you right now. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, they can hear me.
Yep.
They can.
Yeah. They can hear you. They can't hear you right now.
Okay, so far so good. Bye.
Sorry, Nathan.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey Nathan, when you're talking again, that was good, but maybe you could bring your computer a little closer to you. We might be able to hear that a little bit better. Yeah, it's a bit better. That's good. Okay, so Connor, now we'll get you to sort of take us through your season a little bit, kind of hit some highlights and lead up to the state tournament?
Okay. I started the season pretty well. I won the first two tournaments I wrestled in. I was undefeated up until mid-December. I was, I think, 18-0. And I made it to the finals of I guess, it's kind of like a regional tournament for us called Beast of the East, but it's not like the Beast of the East in Delaware. It's like a local Beast of the East. I made it to the finals, wrestled a kid that always beats me pretty bad. I wrestled him about 5 times, and he's majored me almost every time we wrestled. And this time, he beat me 3-2 in triple overtime, so it was a lot closer. Definitely feel like I've improved, and I was wrestling up a weight class the majority of the beginning of the season. So I definitely felt like I improved a lot, and I was just working really hard. Conditioning was never a problem for me. I never lost a match because of conditioning. And after that first loss, I just started working a lot harder, and that was when our season got a little bit more competitive. We started having a tougher schedule. We went to tougher tournaments. We went up north a little bit and wrestled in Virginia, and I took a couple losses there, just wrestling. I wrestled guys that are ranked in the country, and just took some tough losses, but it definitely made me better. All the way up until regionals, I was, wrestling pretty well, wrestling my style, developing more of an offensive style instead of being defensive like I was last year. Definitely taking a lot more shots. Just working stuff I want to work in a match instead of being timid, and I think that was really good for me. So I won a lot of tournaments this year. I got first in 4 tournaments, and then I won conference. Up until regionals, I had been wrestling pretty well. I had my weight under control, which was a little bit of a problem at the beginning of the season, but I just worked hard to get my weight under control, and by conference, I was pretty much good. I didn't have to cut any more weight. I was only 2 pounds over ever, and that was pretty good. So one conference, I went to regionals, and I was wrestling in the semifinals when I got my front teeth cracked in half, and actually, this tooth is dying right now, so I'm going to have a lot more dentistry done. But I had a minute left in the match, and I still finished and won, made finals. Wrestled with a couple teeth knocked out. I lost to the kid that ended up winning state 5-2. So it was definitely thought that state was within my grasp. I just had to revenge that loss, which kind of ended up being the reason I didn't win when we got to state. I wrestled kind of sluggish first match, but I just got that out of the way. In the quarterfinals, I was just, I guess I overlooked someone. I wasn't really taking it one match at a time like I should have, and I lost the quarterfinals 3-1 to a kid that I probably should have beat, and he ended up making the finals, and he lost. So I was kind of thinking about my finals match before I even made it there. So that was kind of a mistake on my part. But just I went to the consolation bracket and I wrestled all the way back to 3rd place. So that was felt good to be on that podium. And I didn't place last year, so it was a big improvement.
Very good. Very good. Well, thanks a lot for that. And what we'll do is we'll come back and kind of touch on your experiences and your successes as we go through. Matthew, now what I'll do is I'll get you to kind of just introduce yourself, give us your name, your year in school, where you're from, and talk us through your season, your wrestling season, and then your state tournament, if you can.
Okay. I'm Matthew Alejandro. I wrestle in Nevada, Las Vegas, at Arborview High School. Last year I didn't even make it to state. So it was like a pretty bad year last year. I was about like 400 percentile record. Went to JROB, of course, and got better there. Came back. I was planning on going 145 in the beginning of the season, but that wasn't going to happen. So I decided to go 52s. And then I decided to go 60s. And then I went to Reno TOC, took 8th there at 52s. And then I changed my mind to go 60s again. And I went to Mile High tournament. I wrestled a kid that I've been losing to all year. Lost him by like 5 points, and then Made it to the third place finals. Lost to him by a point. And a couple tournaments after that. Took third. That's the only tournament I placed at. And I don't even remember where it was. And then regionals, I ended up beating the kid that I lost to at the tournament by a point. I ended up beating him by a point. And that was the semis. And I made it to the finals. I lost. I got pinned in regionals. Then the next week I went to state. I won my first match by a point to a northern kid. Never wrestled him before. Then my semifinals match, I ended up pinning the kid that I beat at regionals by a point. And then my finals match, this kid he pinned me in regionals. I lost to him bad the time before, almost tagged me. I ended up winning in overtime. And yeah.
Well, that's great. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I think guys, that it's great to hear your stories. What I want to do now is kind of go back in time a little bit to, I guess, last summer, and we'll go in the same order. We'll go Nathan, Connor, and then Matthew. Tell us a little bit about why you chose to go to the JROB camp last summer, and just in a sentence or two, explain and summarize the camp for us.
I went to the 10-day in Iowa with several of my teammates, and I decided to go because I knew that I needed something that was going to push me over the bump in the road, something that would get me over to the next level. And I figured I needed a infusion of intensity and hard work, so I decided to go there. And it was really great. It was a really good experience, meeting a bunch of new guys, getting some new moves, a lot of hard wrestling, a lot of running, lifting. I was definitely tired. There were definitely a few times I was thinking, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get through this, but I just had to get it out, persevere, and keep moving. As long as I kept moving, I knew I wasn't gonna quit. And it came time for the final day for the marathon. I knew I was ready. I knew I had no doubt in my mind I was gonna run hard. I was gonna run it fast, and I was gonna do my job. And I ended up doing that, and I ran it, I think, in about an hour, 30 minutes or so, 36 minutes, something like that. So I was pretty, I definitely blew my goal out of the water. It was all around a really great experience.
Very good. Thank you, Nathan. And Connor, tell us a little bit about why you chose to go to JROB last summer.
The main reason I chose to go to JROB was because I really needed to get beat up really bad for a long period of time. Because last year during my season, and every year I've ever wrestled, I've been wrestling since I was a little kid, and I've never been an offensive wrestler. I've always been timid and nervous, and I really didn't wrestle up to my potential. And we would get college coaches, Division I wrestlers, alumni from our school who did really well. They would come back and just beat up on me all practice, and it really wasn't doing it for me. It didn't get me to where I needed to be, and I wasn't confident, and nothing was really working. So after I really just did terrible last year at state tournament, I was ranked 5th in the state almost all year, and I was wrestling with 70, which I shouldn't. I was way too late. And I really should have placed, but I didn't. I lost in the blood round to a kid I definitely should have beat because I was timid, didn't take any shots, I didn't have any offense, and pretty much 2 days after the state tournament, I said, you know what, I really need to do something this summer to make sure this never happens again. So I signed up for the JROB camp. I was going to go to like a 10-day one because I heard JROB was a really good camp program, and I was like, well, there's no way I'm doing it for a month. That's insane. No one should do that. And then I talked to my dad about it, and he was like, you know what, what are you doing this summer? And I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna wrestle a little bit. I probably work part time. Like, we'll see. And he said, Nah, I think you're just gonna wrestle a lot. And so I went to the 28-day camp, and I got beat up for 28 days, and it made me way more offensive, and I was confident. I knew I could get through something difficult. I knew I could get through an overtime match. I knew really nothing that stood in my way could break me like JROB did. And it was a great experience. I had a lot of fun, and at the same time, I didn't have a lot of fun. Uh, it was really hard, and there's really nothing worse than a hard practice. I haven't really experienced anything worse than a hard practice ever. It's pretty bad, and even technique was hard because you were so sore that just doing moves without getting a negative was hard because you didn't want to do anything. The morning runs sucked. I used to run in the mornings before school, but it was nothing like that. I didn't go hard for an hour in the morning. I just did a light jog. So this is definitely a new experience. And the night runs even suck too because they were just as hard as the morning runs, but it's at night and you want to sleep. You have to visualize, and there's nothing to look forward to after you visualize. You just have to go run or lift weights. So it overall was just I was getting beat down. I was kind of breaking mentally. I wanted to call my parents, ask them to take me home, but that wasn't happening. So I just toughed through it, and by the end of the camp, I had already noticed myself changing. I could tell I was becoming better in practice. I was taking more shots. I was starting to beat guys that would just beat me up at the beginning of the camp. So that was really good, and I started getting a lot better shape. And by the time the 15-mile run came, I didn't really care. I didn't really care about going home even. I was like, this is fun. I'm starting to finally enjoy wrestling. I'm starting to become a more offensive wrestler. Like, I achieved my goals at this camp. I worked hard. So the 15-mile run, I don't really remember it just because I went out there and I ran and I had fun. And when I was done, I felt like I had accomplished something, and it was awesome. It was a great feeling.
Very good. Great overview. Thanks, Connor. Matthew, what about yourself? Can you sort of talk us through why you chose to go to JROB and the experience you had?
Yeah, I didn't really know that I was going to be going until about a month before. It was like, I guess it was a surprise. I wanted to go, but like I was watching videos about it, I really didn't want to go. But I knew that I needed to get better because I didn't qualify. I should have qualified for state my freshman year, but I didn't. So I just knew that I needed to work harder. And JROB, when I went there, it actually taught me, like, the main thing that it taught me, it didn't really teach me technique or anything. It just taught me how to work hard. And I just took that home. And so I went there. I hated it for about 3 weeks. It's like the worst thing ever. And the last week, I did like the hardest thing I've ever done at JROB is the 28-minute dumbbell stairs. 26-minute. Yeah, that was the worst thing. Yeah. And that was in the last week. I was already in shape. Everything, it just sucked. I started to actually like it after that because nothing was really as hard as that other than a hard practice. Like, I've already experienced the hardest part of it. So I actually started to like it. I started to hang out with people more. Started to actually I tried in practice, but I actually started to like focus. And I didn't get any positives, but I still tried my best to get a positive. The last day, the marathon, the 16-mile, 15-mile marathon, it wasn't really tiring. Like, I could have ran and ran, but it just, like, your feet hurt really bad when you run. I've been using the same shoes for a year, and they like had no sole left on them, so it hurt really bad. But in the last mile, I actually started to cry. Like, I was so happy I was done. I started to cry, and then I didn't want to go home after that. But yeah, then I took everything that I learned from that camp, took it home. The next camp, I had a few of my teammates. They went, and we actually made a pretty good team this year. Took third at regionals. It's not a good thing. Like it's not that great, but it's a lot better than any of our old teams have done.
Very cool. Cool. Thanks for that, man. It's another really cool story. So what I wanted to do is just dig a little bit deeper into kind of how the camp has maybe influenced you or changed you as a wrestler. So I know you guys touched on it, but can you each talk a little bit about how the camp has influenced you as a wrestler and the way you approach wrestling and the way you do wrestle? So again, Nathan, we'll start with you.
So I mean, like going to the camp, I felt that, like mentally, I was ready, and it was definitely, I thought I was mentally tough, and then it was a bit of a wake up call for me. Like I thought I was tougher than I really was, and it definitely helped build more mental toughness than I had. So, because I mean, the season felt really, really long, and that really helped push me through it. And it was definitely shocking to me. Some of the other parts of the question.
What was that, sorry?
What were some of the other parts of the question?
Yeah, just sort of how has it changed you or how has it influenced you as a wrestler?
Well, it definitely changed me. I mean, during I remember I never lost a single live match that we had during our practice, and that really boosted my confidence, and it helped me learn to be more aggressive. And if I saw an opportunity to take a shot and finish it, that I was going to take it on 100% and work hard to finish it. It really helped me develop a better shot, because before I was getting stuck in like just doing like one or two shot types of shots, and this will help open my style to be more fluid and hit different shots at the right time. And it's helped me. I got a lot more takedowns this season than I ever had before. So that was definitely I definitely credit that helping the camp helping open up my shots. And I wrestle now like I'm not afraid to lose. I wrestle like I'm not afraid to lose. Before I was, I could wrestle a little more timid, and against tougher guys I'd be a little less against people defensive. But this year I wrestled as a kid all out, and I definitely think it helped. I definitely credit the camp for that.
Very cool. Thank you, Nathan. And Connor, what about you? I know you touched on it a little bit when you were talking before, but how did it influence you as a wrestler, and maybe how did it change you?
It definitely had a lot of influence in my style. I'm a lot more offensive now. I scramble a lot better. Last year, I didn't really have good defense either, and that's all I really had. So this year, at Minnesota, I definitely learned how to scramble a lot better. I can defend takedowns. Just any position I feel confident in, and confidence just really helped me a lot. So, like, for example, this year I was in a match and I was down by 4 points with about 10 seconds left. I hit a shin wizard till it got a 5 count, and that was definitely something that would not have happened if I hadn't learned how to scramble, which is pretty important. And I think it definitely changed me as a person as well, because this year I learned how to time manage, and I learned how to push myself in school and practice, just in everyday life. I just tried to get better. I picked harder classes this year. I have a 4.5 GPA right now. That's way higher than I've ever had. And I took the SAT again. I scored 400 points higher. So that's just something that really came from the time management that I learned and how to push myself. And a hard practice sucks, but it's ended up not being the hardest thing I've ever done, because now in practice, I go into practice just like sweating already because I'm so nervous because I know how hard I'm gonna work in practice and how bad it's gonna suck. But I just go to every practice thinking I'm gonna leave everything out there today. I'm gonna get 100 takedowns when we go live. I'm gonna beat anyone that steps on the mat against me. And not only does that translate into a hard wrestling practice, but also when I step out there on the mat, it doesn't matter what time of day it is, doesn't matter how much I've had to eat. I go out there and I just think I'm going to win this match because I've done way harder things than this guy has. I've accomplished more. I've worked harder, and that's definitely changed me a lot. And as soon as I got back from the camp, people around me, they could tell that I seemed like more focused. I seemed like I worked harder in everything I did. I was more disciplined, and it really opened my eyes to how hard I need to work this summer and just what it takes to get to that next level. Like this summer, I already have my schedule planned out. I'm going to Freestyle State, Southeast Regionals, Fargo, NHSCA Nationals is next week, and I just have a hard schedule for this summer because I know how hard I have to work just to get better for next season. So that's definitely something that came from JROB.
Very cool. Thank you, Connor. And Matthew, what about you? How has the camp influenced you as a wrestler throughout the season?
Um, when I got back, I didn't practice for a while, like maybe a month. But when I came back to the room, I noticed that like nobody really works hard compared to JROB. Like it's just a joke at practice, and I ended up like just beating up everybody in the room. I didn't expect that to happen because I used to get beat up, and I just beat everybody up. And I began to actually be a leader without even knowing it. Like people just follow by example. Ended up changing pretty much my whole team. Um, yeah, the team started working harder. So and it influenced me that like I don't get scared at all. I don't get nervous before a match. So, like because I know that I can. I've worked hard and I'm ready for it. And other than the state finals match, I was more nervous than anything. Like I was about to throw up. Hold on. I wrestle more aggressive. Try to actually make people cry, even though that's really mean. I don't care though. Just I'm more aggressive. I'm more offensive. I press more. That's pretty much what won me state is pressing, being more aggressive because I didn't give them an opportunity to be offensive because I was on my offense pretty much the whole match. My work ethic is like way different, like 100% different than it was last year. I used to just joke around last year during runs. I used to like walk most of the time. Changed me pretty much all the way around. Like I do better in school. I didn't do good in school last year. Like I had D's. I have A's and B's now. So overall, just changed me all the way.
Very cool. Thank you, Matthew. And that kind of leads me into my next question. And again, we'll go back to you, Nathan. How has the camp impacted you in kind of other areas of life away from wrestling? And I know, Connor, you kind of touched on a couple of things, and Matthew, you just did as well. But Nathan, how about you? What sort of impact has the camp had on other areas of life, like school and everything else?
Well, it's definitely made me a better leader for sure. I was voted as a captain for the team this year, and it was a huge role for me to take on, and I feel like that definitely kind of taught me how to lead by example, like I said, and when I noticed when if I was working hard, they started working hard, or if someone needed help with something, if someone needed help with like a home assignment, or they didn't understand something, I would do my best to help them out, and I feel like I'm a lot more I just I sort of respect. I'm a lot more. I feel like I'm a lot more respectful now than I was. Okay, because before I'd be I don't think I was about then, but I know now that I was probably a little rude. Some people, even if I didn't try to be rude, I definitely feel I was rude, and I feel like now I'm not as maybe grumpy to say the least, and it's it's an attitude change. It's helped really change my attitude.
Very cool. Thank you, Nathan. Connor, do you want to add anything to what you were saying before?
Okay. After during the JROB camp, for the first part of it, I was in the very back of the group when we did runs, and I just kind of tried to skate by. But by the end of it, I was starting to be more of a leader, and I pushed myself to the front of the row, and I always tried to be the best and just lead people. And whenever I saw people kind of, not doing really well or having some trouble, when they wanted to go home, I always, sat down with them and tried to calm them down and make them feel better about themselves. And that translated into the rest of my life. And now I'm a lot more respectful to people, and I feel like I'm more of a leader. Now, this year I was team captain as a junior, and we have several seniors on the team. But my coach thought I was the best leader, and I had definitely learned some leadership skills that I didn't have before. Like, I want to be an engineer, and I went to several STEM conferences and stuff and leadership conventions, and it really helped me realize how to help people. And because when you help yourself, you get that out of the way, and you can focus on helping other people. So working hard in JROB definitely translated into being able to be a better person and help other people. And again, time management was really important because at JROB you had 4 practices a day. Like Division I college programs don't have 4 practices a day. They have 2 at most. And that's right before nationals. They do 2 days. That's crazy. We had 4 practices a day. It was terrible. We didn't have any time. So you'd go to practice, go to sleep, go to practice, go to sleep, go to practice. Like that was every day. That's all I looked forward to was a nap after practice. And that really taught me, because you didn't have any free time. So now I get home, I do my homework as soon as I get home. I go to practice. I have lots of time in the day to do whatever I need to get done. I'm ahead in everything because I feel like I have so much time in my hands because I learned how to manage it. And that's pretty awesome.
Very cool. Thanks, Connor. And Matthew, do you want to expand on yours a little bit? Sort of how the camp has impacted you and your life off the wrestling mat?
I think I covered pretty much all of it other than, like they said, to more respectful towards adults, anybody. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, that's awesome, guys, and that's pretty much all the questions I have. I guess we'll just go, round the horn once more, and I guess in 1 or 2 sentences, I get you to summarize kind of the impact that the JROB camp has had on you as a person, and try and sum it up for us in 1 sentence. So Nathan, what have you got?
I'd say overall, the JROB camp made me a much tougher mentally, and it's going to be a better person. It's going to be a better person.
Very cool. Connor?
Okay, the camp influenced my life in a way that I never expected to, by showing me I could do something difficult, by shoving something difficult in my face that I had to deal with.
And Matthew?
JROB taught me how to be tough, hardworking, a leader, and more respectful, a better person.
Very good. Well, guys, thanks very much for sharing your stories. It was great to hear all the different perspectives and obviously your successes. So, congratulations.